Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Reeve, Principal of Vanderveer Elementary School.
And I'm Dr. Tian, Superintendent of Schools.
We are so excited to welcome everyone to our Vanderveer Evening Learning Academy.
You are all in for weeks and weeks of enjoyment.
You will be learning alongside your very own Vanderveer teachers.
Also, we have teachers and administrators from across the district that will be bringing you fun learning experiences.
You will become scientists, engineers, mathematicians, writers, world explorers, and learn to communicate in different languages as you explore concepts in math, reading, writing, science, social studies, world language, and so many more.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we encourage you to visit often and view other lessons in our learning library as we add to the videos each week. Enjoy.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be working with 3 strategies. How many? 3, right. So it's okay if you see any of these strategies and you might say, hey, Miss Jones, we learned that already. That's okay. The more practice, the better we'll get. So let's go ahead and get into it. Our first strategy is called vertical addition. Who can tell me, what does vertical mean? I know you might have heard of vertical lines or anything. So what does vertical mean? Take a minute to think. Right. If you said up and down, you're totally correct. Or if you said top to bottom, you're also correct. Because vertical just means top to bottom or up to the down. So let's go ahead and look at our first addition problem. Our first problem is 100 plus 114. So the first thing I want you to do is go ahead and write that the vertical way. Right now we have it the horizontal way, but I want you to go ahead and write that the vertical way. So let's go ahead. You're going to write 100 plus 114, just as so. And another thing I like to do, I like to put lines through to help me separate my ones, our tens, and our hundreds. Okay? Now, I'm going to look at my ones column. And in my ones column, I see I have 0 plus 4. What's 0 plus 4, everyone? Right, 4. So go ahead and write 4 right there in our one spot. Now, what's 0 plus 1, everyone? Right, 1. So go ahead and write that 1 right there. And then in our hundreds, we have 1 plus 1. What's 1 plus 1? Right, 2. Good job. We got through that one quick. So our answer is 214. That might be a clue, guys. Let's see.
All right, our mathematicians, you just solved your first problem with Miss Jones. Awesome work. Now, what number do we have in the tens place? A 1. Yes, we have a 1 in the tens place. And that 1 in the tens place, it doesn't just mean 1. It means 10. That's our first clue to our recipe. Fill it in your recipe. You're going to need 10 grapes and 10 strawberries. All right.
So now we have a new problem. 134 plus 112. So now, first, I want you to go ahead and write it the vertical way. So go ahead. And if you need to, like I said before, go ahead and put some lines through to make sure that your ones, tens, and hundreds are separate. So your ones, your tens, and your hundreds. All right? So I'm going to set the timer for 1 minute. I want you to go ahead and try this problem on your own first. All right? I'm setting a timer for 1 minute. So go ahead and give it a try on your own. Go ahead and get started. All right, our 1 minute is up. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve this together, guys. So looking at our one section, what is 4 plus 2? Right, 4 plus 2 is 6. So you should have a 6 in your one spot. There should be a 6 in your ones. Now look at your tens. We have 3 plus 1. What did you get for 3 plus 1? Right, 4. Good job. And lastly, 1 plus 1. What's 1 plus 1, everyone? 2. Good job. So our answer is 246. Pay attention to that 10 because it might be another clue. You shall see.
I'm excited to tell you that number, that 3-digit number you just solved and got the answer. It brings us to our second clue. What was in the tens place? 4. That's right. 4 is in the tens place. But 4 in the tens place doesn't mean 4. It means 40. This is going to seem like a big number, but we're actually adding little tiny blueberries. You're going to add in 40 little blueberries. Awesome work.
All right, time for strategy number 2. Strategy number 2 is regrouping with addition. So let's take a look at our first problem. 485 plus 128. So the first thing I want everyone to do is go ahead and put that the vertical way. So we have 485 plus 128. And remember, Ms. Jones loves to separate her ones from her tens and from her hundreds. So you guys go ahead and do that if you need to. Your hundreds, your tens, and your ones. Now, take a look at your ones column. In the ones, we have 5 plus 8. What's 5 plus 8? Right, 13. But friends, I know that I put my 3 here, but where do I have to put the 1? I can't put the 1 in the 1 spot. Do I put my ones in the 100 spot? You guys are right. No, we don't do that. So where do I have to put the 1? Right, that 1 carries over to the tens. So go ahead and put that 1 above your 8, which is in the tens. So I put the 1 here. Now in my tens column, I have 1 plus 8 plus 2. So take a moment and do that. What is 1 plus 8 plus 2? Right. My answer is 11. And now that I know my answer is 11, where does that other 1 go, friends? Where does that other 1 go? Right, it goes in the hundreds. So I'm going to go ahead and carry that other 1 and put it in my hundreds place. So now in the hundreds, I have 1 plus 4 plus 1. What's 1 plus 4 plus 1? Take a minute. If you said 6, you're absolutely correct. The answer is 6.
You've just discovered clue number 3. Let's think of that number. Think of what number was in the tens place. Once again, we're looking at that tens place. You're going to need 20 raspberries or blackberries.
Now, on to our next problem. We're still going to use strategy 2, which is regrouping. So this problem says 389 plus 253. So you know what you have to do first. Go ahead and write that the vertical way. 389. Oh, let's jump from like that. 8. Try it again. 89 plus 253. And as I always do, go ahead and separate your ones, your tens, and your hundreds. All right. So now I'm going to pause for a moment and I want you to go ahead and solve this on your own first. So go ahead. I'm going to give you a minute to go ahead and solve this on your own. Just listen out for the sound for our timer. So what? Go ahead and go get started. I see some awesome work over there. All right, that's the timer. So let's go ahead and solve this together, guys. On our ones column, we have 9 plus 3. Who can tell me what is 9 plus 3? Yes, our answer is 12. So you're going to go ahead and write that 2 down here in the ones column. And what does that 1 go? What does that 1 go? Where do we put that 1 from 12? Yes, we carried over to our 10s. So make sure you carried your 1 over to your 10s. So now in the 10s, we have 1 plus 8 plus 5. What's 1 plus 8 plus 5? Yes, our answer is 14. So I put my 4 down here in the 1 spot. And what do we do with that 1? Yes, we carry that other 1 over to our hundreds. And now in our hundreds, we have 1 plus 3 plus 2. We have 1 plus 3 plus 2. Who can tell me what is 1 plus 3 plus 2? If you said 6, you're absolutely correct. 6. So now we have 642 as our answer. I don't know, guys. That might be another clue. Pay close attention to the one spot.
The next discovery I heard you made was with a number that had a number 2 in the ones place. Is that right? Well, this is going to bring out 2 clues for us. In your recipe, please fill in. We need 2 oranges and 2 kiwi.
Fruit salad, yummy, yummy. Fruit salad, yummy, yummy. Fruit salad, yummy, yummy. Yummy, 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 yummy fruit salad. Let's make some fruit salad today. Oh, it's fun to do.
Time for our last strategy. Strategy number 3. Strategy number 3 is breaking apart or expanded form. So when I say that, we're looking at a big number and we're just breaking it down. So let's take a look. 312 plus 349. Now for this, I just want you to listen and watch what I do. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is look at my hundredths spot. I see I have a 3 and another 3. So now I'm going to look at that. I'm going to write 3 right here because that represents my hundredths. And I see behind the 3, we have 2 more numbers. So I'm going to write 2 circles because that represents the 2 numbers. And I know that my 3 is in a 100 spot. So I'm going to write 300. And I also have another 3 in a 100 spot. So I'm going to write 300 again. And my zeros, they represent the 2 numbers that's behind my 100 spot. Then I'm going to go ahead and look at the tens. And in my tens, I have a 1 and I have a 4. And it's 1 number behind it. So I know for my first number is 10. So I'm going to write a 1 and 1 0 behind it because only 1 number is behind. Plus 40 because it's the 4 and the 1 in the 10 spot, but it's only 1 number behind. So I'm going to put 1 0 there. Then next, I'm going to write a 2 because my 2 is in my ones. And then I have a 9 in the other one. So I'm going to write 2 here and 9. So now I already looked at my numbers, so I broke it apart. So now that I have that, I'm going to add my answers. So 300 plus 300 gives me 600. Then 10 plus 40 gives me 50. And 9 plus 12 gives me 11. So I'm going to write 11 here. Now that I added across, I have to add down now. So I'm looking at all the ones. And in my ones column, I have 0 plus 1, which gives me 1. And in my tens, I have 0 plus 5 plus 1. What's 0 plus 5 plus 1? Right, 6. So I'm going to write 6 here. And then in my hundreds columns, I have another 6. So I'm going to bring that other 6 down and write it here. So now, everyone, my answer is 661. That might be another clue.
Let's take a look at the ones place. That's right. Yes, the number 1 is in the ones place. This is going to give us 2 clues. You're going to need 1 apple and 1 mango.
To our next problem using strategy 3. We have 342 plus 164. So what's the first thing we should do, everyone? Right, look at our hundreds. So I'm going to go ahead and circle the numbers in my hundred spot, which is a 3 and a 1. So if I have a 3 in my hundred spot, what number will I make it to expand it? What number? You're right, 300. 300 plus, and what should represents that 1 in the 100 spot? 100. Good job. 100. Very good. Now let's take a look at our tens. We have a 4 and we have a 3. So looking at our tens, the first 10, we have a 4. And I know it's one number behind it. So what am I going to write? Right? 40. Yes, 40. Plus, what's over here? A 3. So now I'm going to write my 3, but how many numbers is behind my 3? Yes, only 1. So I'm only going to put 1 circle because there's only 1 number behind my 3. Now go ahead, let's look at our 1 spot. We have a 2 and we have a 6. Now I'm going to write my 2 down here because that's in my 1s. Is anything after that 2? No, so we don't put no zeros because it's only 1 number. So it's 2 plus 6 because that 6 is in the 1 spot. And now we're going to go ahead and solve it. All right. So what's 300 plus 100, everyone? 400. You're right. So I'm going to go ahead and write 400 over here. Then I'm going to go down to my tens. I have 40 plus 30. What's 40 plus 30? Don't get tricked by that 0. Just think about what's 4 plus 3. If you said 7, you're right. So write 7. But what's behind that 4 and that 3? Yep, that 0. So we actually have 70. And then go down to your 1s. We have 6 plus 2. What's 6 plus 2, everyone? Right, 8. Good job. So now I have to add them all. We added across. Now it's time to add down. So I'm looking at 400 plus 70 plus 8. So everyone, I want you to look at your 1s column down here and then look at your 10s. All right, so in our 1s column, we have 0 plus 0 plus 8. What's that, everyone? 8. You're right, because we have 2 zeros. So 8. And then in our 10s, we have 0 plus 7. What's 0 plus 7? Right, 7. And then we're just going to go ahead and bring that 4 down because the 4 is the only one in the hundreds. And our answer is 478. I want you to...
All right, my friends, the next clue that you just received is all about the pineapple. So I have a whole pineapple, but you could use slices or cubes. Let's take a look at that number that you were just working with. Take a look at the 1s place. What number's in the 1s place? Yes, 8. You have such a good memory. You're going to need 8 pineapple slices.
On to our next problem. 377 plus 122. Now, we're going to keep using that strategy from number 3. 377 plus 122. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's look at all of the numbers in our 100 spots. We have a 3 and we have a 1. So look at that first number. We see we have a 3 in 100 spots. So I'm going to go ahead and write 3. But how many numbers is behind the 3? 2 numbers. So that means we need how many zeros? 2. So go ahead and write 2 zeros behind that 3 because that represents 300. And now in our next number, we have a 1 in the 100 spots. So I'm going to write that 1. And how many zeros should I have? 2. Yes, 2 because it's 2 numbers after that 1. Then let's go ahead and look at our 10 spot. We have a 7 and a 2. So when I see that 7, I know I have to bring it down to be 70 because there's 1 0 behind that 7. Then going to the next number, I'm going to bring my 2 down and put a 0 behind my 2. That represents 20. And lastly, in our 1 spot, we have a 7 and another 2. So I'm going to bring that down, write 7, and then write a 2. So now it's time for us to add, going across. So what is 300 plus 100? Remember, I know that's a big number, so just block out those zeros and just think about what's 3 plus 1. Yes, 4. So I'm going to write my 4, but how many zeros should I have? 2, yes. So I'm going to put 2 zeros. So 400. I go down to my tens. I say we have 70 plus 2. What's 70 plus 2? Right, if you said 90, you are right. 70 plus 20 is 90. 70 plus 20 is 90. And then I go down, we have 7 plus 2 in our ones. And just like the one above, it's going to give us a 9. So we added across, now it's time to add down. So in the ones column, we have 0 plus 0 plus 9. What's 0 plus 0 plus 9? Right, 9. So go ahead and write 9 down there. What's 0 plus 9? Good job, another 9. And lastly, the 4 is the only one in the 4s and 100. So I'm going to bring down that 4. And now our answer should be 499.
Watermelon. For our watermelon, take a look at that ones place in your last answer. 9. That's right. You guys are so quick at this. You're going to need 9 watermelon slices. Write that down and go ahead and prep your watermelon.
Fruit salad.
This fruit. This is called a honeydew. You're going to need about 7 pieces. And remember, we're going to cut them smaller at the end. So use your best judgment. If you don't have a honeydew, you can use cantaloupe. But your magic number?
Fruit salad. Yummy.
Scholars, so you're at that final part of the recipe. So that final part, you're going to use that other orange that we didn't cut up. You're going to need a lime and some honey. I have a little lemon squeezer, a juicer to help me juice, a bowl, and a whisk, and a measuring 1 tablespoon. So to start off, I'm going to cut my lime in half. And I'm going to use my lemon juicer just to get some of that juice out. This is going to make a nice sour and sweet dressing. Get as much out as you can. Perfect. Pour that right in there. Now, limes are super sour. Next is my orange. You can use the same thing. You can use orange juicer or just your hands to squeeze out as much juice as possible. Awesome. This is looking great. Next, I'm going to add some honey just to sweeten this up. I'm going to add 1. I'm going to use my knife to help me scoop it out. 1. About 3 tablespoons of honey. 2. And 3. Now, if you made your salad a little bit bigger, you might want to add some extra dressing into it. Or if you made it a little bit smaller and skipped out on some of our fruits, you may want to make a little less dressing. And when my dressing is all nicely together, tap this out, put this on the side, bring my big bowl of fruit over, pour my dressing over. This is also going to help our apples to not brown. And if some of you like bananas, you can put some bananas in. The lime juice is going to help not brown our fruit and last a little bit longer. All right, make sure you mix this salad up. And I hope it's a great salad and you enjoy it with your family and friends.